the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Phillips, what'd you cut off George's intro for? He's gonna yell at you. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Aaron's Hour, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right. We are here again. And by the way, this is the last show of Aaron's Hour. Well, for 2023 at least. Sorry, John. Sorry to disappoint you. We're going to take the next couple of weeks off to enjoy the holidays, although maybe after talking with my guest today, I may change my mind on that. But since I celebrate Hanukkah, it'll still be a learning experience for me. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Sitting to my right, we saw him at Halloween time, and the lady sitting next to me, simply known as the Weird Sistas. How you ladies doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm doing well, thank you. We'll get to them in a second. First, let me thank everybody for watching on Facebook or on YouTube. If you are going to go to YouTube, remember, you must click the little live button there across the top. Even if you go back and watch it again, that live button must be hit. If you're driving around somewhere, hey, listen, don't watch and drive. Download the WWDBTV app to your phone, your Android, WWDBTV LV to your iPhone product, and in about 3 days, 72 hours. If you are hooked up to Roku, and if you're not, you need to, because it's the only way you're going to see the shows from WWDBTV there. Download it, get it set up. You'll see all of my shows, Aaron's Hour, plus the many choices and options like a Chinese menu you may have to pull together, whatever show you want to watch, because there's a lot of them on there. And, of course, during the show, I'd love for you to call in 702-992-3207, because today we're going to talk about origin stories of how Christmas was started, or the Yule, as I got corrected before the show got started, and anything else we're going to talk about. I would love to know, just for the heck of conversation, drop in what your favorite tradition is as a family, or whatever you like to do around the holidays, and let's share it. I just noticed is her hat like disappearing in the shot?
When she turns a certain way.
Because of the green on the top, yeah, right? Okay. I'm like, you look down for us. I'm like, where did her head go?
Oh, my God. Yeah, there it goes.
We may, yeah.
It's magic.
Wait, I got some spray paint.
That's right. Yeah, really. Anyway, so that's what we got going on today. Today's all about discussing the holidays and origins. Should be a fun show. It was fun with these ladies last time. Also, you guys have a show coming up in January that we'll talk about again, right? Mm-hmm. So they've got something going on. But first and foremost, as always, I'd be remiss if I didn't do it. Not only that, but it would be a shame if I didn't do it. It's time now for Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
All right, here we go. First of all, listen, unfortunately, my news feeds have changed on my phone. MSN has changed something up, but I don't know if there's any winners in terms of jackpots out there. I'm sure there were. Yes, John. Did you win something?
Yes, I did.
What did you win?
I didn't play.
A case of Cialis doesn't work.
I didn't play, so I got to keep all my money.
That's always a win. There you go. You betcha. So now if you didn't play, what'd you do with that money? What'd you spend it on?
I paid my cable bill.
That's good, because I wouldn't want this show to go off the rails. Might as well finish it, right? All right. So here's what we're going to do. Listen, man, I saw an estimate. 400,000 people is what they're expecting in town for the holidays. Now, we know for the holidays, we always get a ton of people. I didn't think it was ever. I always used to tell people it's like maybe 250, maybe, but 400,000 sounds like an awful lot of people.
No,
for the holidays.
I think that's more accurate.
400?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they're going to be in between the Strip and Fremont Street, and just stay out of the local casinos. We don't need that up there. We like our little quietness. Anyway, 400,000 people are coming in. There's going to be events all over the place. I'll talk about New Year's in a little bit. But first, let's focus on maybe some. This might be a great segue to get these ladies involved in this conversation. So I'm going to talk about some of the Christmas events that are in town. I know we'll talk about the origin probably after break. We'll get into that so we have a little more time to share with it. So here's some of the holiday attractions if you want to look for things to do when you come in. The Bellagio Resorts always has a great display. Do you guys ever go in and see the flowers and stuff?
I haven't been there in the past few years.
Okay.
I know about it.
But they do some
great
stuff. And the
Venetian too. Right.
The Venetian always has a great show. So you have the Bellagio, a holiday display, which is including a 30-foot nutcracker. I'll just let that line float for a second or two. And a Coca-Cola train. You also have the glittering lights drive-through display up at the Las Vegas Speedway. That's 15 north. What, 10 minutes north of where we are, roughly?
Yeah.
You know, going up
It's
there.
$39.
Is that what it is?
It's
Perfect.
$39.
$39, so that's a carload.
Yes,
So
that's a
you-
carload, and if you're military, they give you a discount.
Oh, good. Okay, so John, you can go and pay
Everybody's
less.
piling my car.
That's what it was.
And if you, I think if you bring a donation, you get a
Yeah, they always
discount.
have a donation
Yeah.
stuff going.
It may be cold, but the last time we did it, I borrowed my friend's convertible and we did it topless. You saw everything.
I'm sorry. It was too cold.
was cold.
It was too cold.
John,
I'm not saying
I-
It
it.
was too. It was
so,
too cold.
first I saw dressing going on before the show, and now I got
Somebody's eye out.
tops down and everything was exposed. But no, but it did remind me talking about it. I didn't realize this was for a carload like back in the day when we had drive-ins. I mean, we have one still here in town, right?
Yes.
But people would cram into trunks and everything, just try to get as many people as you can for the nickel, right? That it would
I
take to get in.
remember.
Right? I was never locked in a trunk, fortunately. At least not that I will admit to. Anyway, Enchant Christmas at Las Vegas Ballpark. The ballpark, which is up in Summerlin, right off the 215, turns into a winter wonderland with activities with ice skating, a holiday maze, dazzling lights, vendors, the whole shebang. So that's going on up there. Here's a tradition. In town, the Ethel M chocolates, right? The Cactus
Yes, the
Walk is all
Cactus
lit up.
Gardens.
That's great.
Yeah.
They don't give out free chocolate samples anymore.
No,
Yeah,
they
that's
not
BS.
since COVID.
Not since COVID.
That's-
Yep.
not since COVID.
But if you haven't been down there, Sunset and Sunset is the intersection, right? Sunset and Sunset.
Actually, it's Sunset and Mountain Vista.
Is Mountain Vista is the actual
Is
drive
the actual
into it, right?
drive? Yes.
So check that out. That's a lot of fun. But also, if you're going to go at night, which is obviously the best time to enjoy the lights, check the weather. Dress warmly. Be safe, because right now with flus and COVID stuff maybe acting out around, we just want to make sure everybody's prepared. Don't think you can go out there in short sleeves when it's like 40 degrees at night. You will get sick. At least that would happen to me. Anyway, so here's some family-friendly shows. You have the Popovich Comedy Pet Theater. Okay, if you like pet magic. Piff the Magic Dragon. I think that's out the Tropicana, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. Piffles is the world's only magic performing chihuahua. Have you ever seen a chihuahua do magic? I haven't.
Well, I've seen it make food disappear. But,
And then change its form into a whole nother. Anyway. Jabberwockies, of course, Blue Man Group. That's a great show.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was a castaway because they didn't select me. Anyway, Illuminate, that's another great show, is a dance performance that combines technology and dance. And then America's Got Talent Live. Every year the winners and some of the folks from previous shows, they get together and do a national touring show. So that should be a good show as well. Now, a lot of these, just look them up online. I have more to talk about as far as restaurants and things, but I want to stop there a little bit because I'm going to change the direction of what I said I was going to do because it's my show and I can do it this way. Let's talk a little bit about the origins. We talk about Christmas, and you mentioned before I went on the air, it's really the Yule. So let's talk about the origins of the holiday. And we'll get into that a little
The
bit before.
traditions.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So where would you guys like to start?
Well, first of all, Christmas is based on a Christian belief,
Okay.
and that's only 2,023 years old.
Oh, just newly
Okay?
started.
Yeah.
It's young.
It's
Yule,
It'll
which
catch on.
originally Yule is spelled J-U-L or J-O-L.
Ooh, okay.
It's Anglo-Saxon or Nordic beliefs.
Okay.
Okay. Yesterday was actually the festival of Lucia.
Okay. Which Lucia sounds like lights.
The opera singer.
That is,
Shut up.
it is actually, you are actually correct. It's,
Okay.
she was turned by the Christians into a saint,
Okay.
but she is the goddess of light, and it is still celebrated in many of the northern countries.
So you mentioned the lights. So you
Yes.
know that Hanukkah just ended,
Right.
which is what I celebrate, the Festival of Lights with its
yes.
story. Any particular correlations? It seems coincidental that we have two traditions and holidays that evolve around lights.
Well, personally, I believe that in almost every country, the holidays, the traditions are very similar because we have like a universal beliefs.
Okay.
And some people don't want to believe that. Some people don't, that, either racist or, narcissistic,
Mm-hmm.
that theirs is the only belief. But if you look at a lot of the traditions, they are based on bringing back the light.
Mm-hmm.
Yule, which is now spelled Yule, is the tradition of bringing back the light.
Okay. And when you say bringing back the light, you're
It's
talking about
okay.
lives like the Messiah, as a lot of people
No,
believe.
it's
What are we
actually
talking-
bringing the light back to the world. Because you have to realize when these traditions were created, there were no grocery stores. We had no electric lights.
Walgreens weren't on every
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's in the middle of winter. It gets dark at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
You're constantly building fires to keep warm. And you're talking about peasantry.
Mhm.
They realized that they had to appease the gods to bring back the warmth to the earth so the
Mhm.
earth can regenerate.
Okay.
Mix in their traditions or beliefs according to different religions.
Mhm.
There's the Lord of the Light, Lord of the Hunt, or a Father of the Light.
Mhm.
Originally, he was tall and thin, wore furs, wore pine boughs,
Okay.
wore holly, okay? And he would bring sacks of wood and food
Okay.
to the peasants who are far apart from one another to help them.
Gotcha.
That's what they believed.
Okay.
They would build huge fires to bring him to them, to guide his way.
Mhm.
And so he can bring back the light,
Gotcha.
okay?
Okay.
Enter Christianity.
Mhm.
If you're a pagan, you were burned, you were hung,
Right.
stoned, whatever. So they started hiding their traditions in the Christian traditions.
Okay.
Hence, Father Christmas was born.
Okay.
Okay. Originally, he was tall, thin, wore green robes, and he mixed with good King Wenceslas and Saint Nicholas.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Here you're getting your Saint Nicholas now.
Right.
Okay. There were several men who fit that genre who actually lived. There was a Saint Nicholas. There was a Saint Bartholomew, and he was black. And he would go from town to town bringing food and medicine. All of these saints mixed together, they turned them into Father Christmas.
Okay.
Father Christmas was tall and thin, wore pine boughs, wore green, did not wear red until later on when you're talking the 1800s.
Mhm.
And
Why the change in color to the red?
that actually had a lot to do with the Christian influence at that time,
Okay.
because red was the color of a cardinal.
Ah, okay. That makes
Okay.
sense. Mhm.
And since he was supposed to be a saint, he would have to be a cardinal
Gotcha.
in order to become a saint.
Then at what point did the red and green come together as the traditional
Because he was still
colors?
wearing pine boughs.
Okay.
He was still dressed in holiday traditions.
Okay.
We decorate our home in those.
Mhm.
Actually, they decorated the homes in those because it would keep the warmth in, but also the smell,
The pine smell.
the pine smell actually kept the house clean, and pine actually does cleanse the air of bacteria.
Okay.
So
So is that where? And this is going to sound really stupid, and I'm not trying to make a joke of this. Pine salt cleaner.
yes,
Is that where that
well,
potentially comes from?
pine
Right.
is a cleaner.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
He
It just
actually,
dawned on me.
if
There's a
you rub
product.
if you rub pine on you when you're walking through the woods, the mosquitoes won't bother you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wish I'd known that during the summer when these darn little mosquitoes
Right,
we couldn't see
so-
would get you.
These are things that,
Wow. Okay.
and of course, because of time and traditions, they
Right.
change. And people pass things on word of mouth.
So that's where folklore sort of kicks in
Right.
at that point, right?
And like I said, last night was celebrated. It was all over the internet. They pick the most virtuous girl in their town, and she's nominated. It's sort of like a pageant in many ways, but she has to be virtuous and kind and good and honest and all the good things
Okay.
in life. They put a crown of candles on her head.
Mhm.
She is dressed all in white. This comes from the Druids. And they,
Is everybody keeping track of the scorecard here?
Right.
Everybody's coming in
so
here.
she would actually, she goes in front of a parade of other virtuous young girls,
Mhm.
also dressed in white, also wearing pine boughs, etc. And they hold candles and go through the town. They are helping the light come back to the earth.
Okay,
They're bringing back the warmth.
gotcha.
Because the days will soon be getting longer.
Longer.
That's
Right.
bringing the light back.
Gotcha. Well, see,
Okay.
that makes sense. So,
And then we can go into Krampus. That's a whole nother
I know,
ball.
we'll
That's
get-
a whole
we'll-
nother show.
Will Jennifer, why are you putting in there St. Lucia? 'Cause
Yes,
that's where I honeymooned. That's why
yes.
I'm asking.
Lucia is another version. It's the same thing.
Okay, because that's where I went. That's
She's
where I went on
right.
my honeymoon, St. Lucia.
Yeah,
So,
Saint Lucia, Saint Lucia.
okay,
She has like 5 different names, but again, it depends on your providence,
Sure.
your country.
sure.
Yeah.
It's like a report. You can look at any report and decipher out of it what you want. So,
Mhm.
all right, we're going to step aside for our first break because I do have to pay some bills before I go on break for the next 2 weeks. So I have the weird sisters. They're not very weird. They're just very knowledgeable is really what it is. I'm Aaron Phillips. A lot more to come. Plus, they're going to talk about an event they have coming up in 2024 in January. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
How unique.
It's gorgeous.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double 8 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double 8 Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double 8 Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business.
Bingo.
All right, welcome back to Aaron's Hour. Hey, Desert Valley Gallery, my friends up there, Richard, Ed, and Monique, and everybody else up there. If you go in there between now and the end of the month, that's right in the middle of holiday season for your gifts, but you don't need to just go in there for the holiday season. You got birthdays, Valentine's Day, or just because maybe you're moving to a new house and you want a new painting to go up on your wall. Go in there, mention Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips, WWDBTV, or any of the shows that I am involved with. For your first visit, your first purchase of $150, man, that's it. It's not hard, especially up there. You'll get an opportunity to be entered into a drawing for a pair of tickets to go to their monthly cabaret show any month you want in 2024. It's an $80 value to go up there. They feed you a little food. You get some great entertainment. Again, Desert Valley Gallery, $150 purchase or more. You get entered into the sweepstakes by mentioning Aaron Phillips, Aaron's Hour, or WWDBTV. See, I remembered this time, John, without you.
Hey, and that's good. And the thing is that even I mean
Yes,
the show
use your words.
is worth it
Oh, absolutely. it
because
is.
you get the artwork that you're going to purchase.
Right.
And I mean, even
And then
if
you get $80 back by getting into the sweepstakes if you win the tickets.
Voila.
It's a win-win. Love
Awesome.
it. Go up there and mention us, and you'll get.
Don't mention my name.
Yeah, they'll double the
I've
price.
been blackballed from the place.
They'll double the price and then give you a 50% discount if you mention John's name. Anyway, thank you for tuning back in. We are here today with Mama Voodoo and Lady TA. We're sisters. We're talking about the traditions and origins of the holidays at this time. So my next question, to kind of hopefully continue what you guys were talking about. We were talking about Krampus, and I know today for a lot of folks, because of some shows that have been out there with, especially Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
Krampus sort of became a laughing matter at a point. We'll get to that in a bit. So with all the traditions and origins that you just shared, Christmas traditionally has also been celebrating Jesus Christ's birthday, at least as I understand it, right? The nativity scenes and all of that. Where'd that come into all of this as far as the celebration of Christmas on December 25th?
All right, I'm about to get controversial.
Hey, listen, you could be controversial. I'm just going to
Okay,
sit back here and listen. No, I'm only kidding.
Originally, if you read all of the doctrines, if you go back and look at all of the actual evidence, he was born in January.
Okay.
But January was actually not just the beginning of the year, it was also beginning of festivals and things like that.
Okay.
It was the Council of Mycenae,
Which is what?
which is the High Council of at one time it was the High Council of all of the Christian denominations.
Okay.
And all the cardinals and all of that.
Okay.
They all got together. They were the ones who decided what came out of the Bible, what went into the Bible.
They were the editors.
They were the editors, yes. And they decided to make the date for his birthday to be December 25th because they were trying to bring pagans into the fold.
Okay.
And Yule is always celebrated between the 22nd and the 25th.
Aha. Okay.
So depending on where you were,
Mhm.
it was in that time frame. So they made it the
Okay.
25th. They decided to make it the 25th.
Gotcha. What was
And-
his real date in January? Do we know? Just out of curiosity.
No, actually, I don't know. They say he was born because they did. They used stars. They used the astrological
Mhm.
and so on because they figured it out that it was sometime in mid-January that
Okay.
he was actually born.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm not saying we don't say that he never existed.
Right. Right.
We may not follow his path, but if you look, our path is no different.
Mhm.
We have many similar beliefs, but they've also stolen many of our ideas.
Mhm.
The Christmas tree,
Right.
the Tannenbaum is our tradition. Incense is our tradition.
Mhm.
Candles,
When-
our
when
tradition.
for clarification, for those who missed your visit with me last time and are not familiar with you, when you say our traditions, please describe what you mean by that.
We're pagans.
There you go.
We are pagans. We don't believe in just one God.
Nor is God a single parent.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. And we believe in a balance. We believe in the earth as our mother. Harm none.
Mm-hmm.
We have certain beliefs, doctrines that we follow.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe in the law of threes, which is if you do harm, it comes back to you 3 times fold. So why would I hurt you when I know I'm going to get slammed?
Right.
So
is that the same philosophy when people say things happen in threes?
yes,
Same thing. Like
Yes.
you hear a death of somebody in the news and then another one. And
Yeah.
that, so is
the
that
law of threes.
Okay. And the law of three: Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Maiden,
Yeah.
Mother, Crone.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Threes.
and
Gotcha.
if you, it's like
Makes
she
sense.
said, God is not a single parent.
Right.
When people talk about the goddess, they'll talk about Maid, Mother, and Crone, but her counterpart is the young Lord, the High Lord, and then the Elder.
Okay.
Okay. Odin, Thor, Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Osiris, Isis, Horus. If you're looking at the threes, it's always a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, people take from other cultures.
Right.
They glean what they want, but
And combined with
combined
Sure.
what they want. If
Sure.
you like, I spoke last time about voodoo. Same thing.
Right.
They had to hide their ancestral beliefs.
Mhm.
The slaves had to hide it, and they hid it in a way where it was acceptable to their Christian owners.
So I want to go off on a little bit of a tangent to what you just mentioned about having to hide their beliefs so that the
Well,
outside
the
world.
Jews
That's
are
you're exactly going right
Yeah,
where I was, especially during the Holocaust time.
Yes.
Even today.
Yes.
you know,
right now with all the little
everything
crazy
going
going
on.
on.
I got to share this with you. Last night, my wife and I went out to a dinner that was put on by a parent of a student from her school. Does it every year. He's a realtor, very successful, brings all this together. Anyway, so we're getting dressed, and I used to wear a Jewish Star of David all the time. years ago, I just stopped wearing it, mostly because during the day when I'm with kids, I don't need to keep yanking on it. But then with all that's going on, even when I go to the temple for the high holidays, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to wear this, all that. Last night was the first time, for whatever the reason, we went out, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to put on like the Chamsa. I have the Chamsa hand.
Yeah.
Because my silver Star David was tarnished and needed to be cleaned. But anyway, but I think about that now.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid, I mean, I should, my head's like on a swivel, who's around. So kind of the same thing, because we
Same
don't
thing.
let the
And
world
it's
know,
a
right?
shame that, okay, we're in 2023, almost 2024.
Mhm.
We have to hide ourselves.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's like,
More so now.
yeah. We
Then, 150 years ago.
Exactly.
we were I forget where we were. We were in costume,
Mhm.
and we stopped off, and we were on our way to do something. I forget.
Are you
What?
talking about the young man in the casino?
No,
Okay.
that was something different. But this woman walked by and said to me, "You're going to hell." So my response to that is, I can't. There's still a restraining order.
I love it.
And
Love
it
it.
usually stops them in their tracks because they just don't know how to respond to it. I said, who would think the devil would be that thin-skinned and walk away? And you have to make a joke out of it, because if you don't laugh about it, it's really sad that somebody thinks they have the right
Sure.
to stop and judge you and turn to you and say
Right.
that your belief is your belief. Bless you.
I-
More power to you.
I want to acknowledge somebody. Hey, hi Jamie. Hi AJ. I want to acknowledge Jamie Lee. She is a daughter of my dear friend Ricky Cash, who passed away a couple of years ago. He was my first partner on radio. John knows him. We all work together. I tagged Jamie in this show, and I tagged her in my promo as well. But she also is Wiccan, and so I've tagged her in this because I want her to
Blessed
tune
be.
in.
Blessed be.
Yeah. So Jamie, if you want to call in, I'd love to get your take on this. 702-992-3207. We're talking about the origins of the holidays and the beliefs and how everything sort of came about. So Jamie, if you choose to, 702-992-3207. But I am glad that you're logged in. And hey, and again, hi AJ. AJ is a great interview. You guys should be on her show. Again, AJ, thank you. But
Give us the invite.
I've heard, Jamie, what does she say? I'm thinking of the time this teenage idiot thought my cousin's pentagram as a Star of David
I've had that too.
and started saying anti-Semitic
Yeah.
stuff. Do you know AJ Dean? Because she just put in there, love the sisters. She's
I think she's on our Facebook.
okay. She's
think
great.
I believe she's on AJ. Yes, you're on my Facebook. I think.
Jamie says, I'd love to call, but got the small human in background. Jamie, do you think we've not had worse on this show? You know me pretty well. You know what I'm saying? But if you can, great.
Started.
If you can, great. If not, I'd love to hear your thoughts as we're having the conversation here about origins. She made me a believer, and I'll share this story and then we'll go back on. I have a lot of fun with her. I really do. And she knows I love her when I do this with her. She has told me one time that her life is made up of 80 plus other souls. So I used to joke with her about, how do the 80 other people feel about such and such? So one Thanksgiving, we all had dinner at my house. And she all of a sudden gets up out of the living room. She goes to the front door. No doorbell, no, just goes to the front door, opens it. A couple of minutes, she comes walking back in, and she then diverts herself into my kitchen where I had a picture hanging on my refrigerator. She pulls the picture off the refrigerator, and she comes to me and she says, who is the lady at the front, before she shows me the picture, who's the lady in your family that wore these like big glasses? First thing, my mom was already gone by that point. My mom always used to wear those big fashion sunglasses, with the big frames, right?
Yeah.
She goes, no. And she holds up the picture, says, who's this person? It was my great grandmother. And I said, why? She says, because that was who at the door. And then we sit down after dinner, and she's bringing in my wife's grandmother into the conversation. I wanted to hear from my mother, but no, she brings in my wife's grandmother. So I'm a believer in afterlife. I really am. But for her to do that,
Everything has energy, and that's what it's based on.
absolutely. And that's why I tell you more stories, which continues to increase my belief. But when she did that, and she, 80 plus reincarnations, and I'm a medium. Yeah. She calls me every once in a while.
I'm a large.
Oh, yes,
I'm a 1X.
I'm a double. I got you. That was very good. What is? I was.
We're both
dramatic.
empaths.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we feel more, and I know.
See, I was
I
told-
got a full house. I got a lot of shadows.
She
running
has
around
an
the house.
entourage that comes with her.
See, I was told I actually have the gift to do that, but I never harnessed it. But I feel my mom all
We
the
can
time.
open your eye. We can open your eye.
You know what? I would be very intrigued in learning more about that. I really would. And I say that seriously. My wife and I would be sitting around.
When was the
our
last
house.
time you talked to your mom?
In person?
No, just when was the last time you
Whenever
talked
We
to
need
your
a
mom?
seance.
Whenever. Oh,
That's
That's how we call our mom.
how we call our mom. We need a seance.
Well, listen, whenever I smell smoke in my house, cigarette smoke, because my mom used to smoke.
All right, and then you just have a conversation with your mom.
I turn to my wife and say, "Hey, my
Your-
mom's
your
here."
Mom. Yeah, good for
I
you.
say, "Hey, mom, how you doing? Everything is well. Hope all is good. Thanks for stopping by." And within seconds, it's gone.
Yeah.
So I know it's there.
Yeah.
I know it's there. She tells me stuff about my partner that I told you about, her father, Ricky Cash. Messages that she would send. He told her
Yeah.
to
To tell
deliver
you.
to deliver his eulogy when we had a memorial service for him.
hmm
And the stuff I hear from him. So yes,
There's no way she could know that.
and she knows me very well.
I did your reading.
Yeah, you did. You scared the crap out of me last time.
I've been told I'm spooky, but I own it. So
No, hey,
yeah.
but I like hearing that. I'm not afraid to learn of what may be down the road. I don't want to know the day I die, what's written on the calendar.
You know what? We don't have one path.
Right.
We choose as we go through our path. There is a destination we're supposed to reach.
Right.
If you don't reach it in this life, you have to come back around. It's unfortunate that you do have to learn those lessons all over again.
Sure.
And people don't realize the decisions you make every day don't just affect you, they affect the people around you too, because that makes them change their path.
Right. So Jamie's mom is also an empath, and she has the gift. Now, I don't know if it's as strong as Jamie's, but Jamie's mom, my friend's ex number 1, I think, has the gift as well. But I would be very interested from a personal note to walk down those other eye-opening paths, just if for no other reason to talk to my
To get
mom
the
and my
message a
grandpa.
lot clearer.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. All right. I digress away from the holidays. I can because it's my show and I choose to do it. That's right. Anyway, all right, let's get back on topic here. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So the stuff that goes on to celebrate Christmas here in town, do you guys ever kind of go, really? Do they really celebrate that? Or, is that really happening? Is there anything that goes on you kind of raise your eyebrows at and say, really? Do this?
The eyebrows.
Did I say something I shouldn't
Yeah,
have?
it's an inside joke.
Oh,
that,
okay.
that and tuna will get me going like crazy.
Okay.
We'll have to tell you that off camera.
That's another show, ladies and gentlemen. Be back when Aaron Phillips is After Dark.
And like my sister said,
Yeah.
we don't judge what you believe in
Of
or
course.
how you celebrate it.
Right. Nor should anybody.
Everybody,
anyway.
and we were talking earlier, okay, they kind of started here.
Right.
As time went on, they meld differently here. It's all basically, if you boil it down, the exact same thing.
Mhm.
And if this is what you believe, and this is what makes your heart warm, and you're not mean or nasty to anybody else, knock yourself out.
I think if the world was like that in general, we wouldn't have 99% of the issues today if
Yeah.
everybody just took everybody for who they are and what they believe.
Well, it's like Santa Claus, okay? Saint Nick, Santa Claus.
Mhm.
The version you have now was created by the Coke company back in 1902. Because originally Santa was not fat.
Right.
Okay.
Well, not based on what you described before,
No,
where it
no,
was tall and thin.
No,
By the
they
way,
tried.
Jamie
to-
puts in there, we need Krampus, not Santa. We were talking about that earlier.
we're
We'll get there next,
We're
Jamie.
going to discuss
How much
Krampus.
time we got?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to discuss
And she does
Krampus.
say also, Path's fate has laid. So that's what
Yes.
you guys. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
you call
you're-
it Krampus. I'm like, oy, oy, oy.
Yeah, no, but
We can have 2 conversations going on at once with that guy.
but
Oh, my
if you
gosh.
look at the origins when they started doing St. Nicholas and so on, there is a story. Okay.
Mhm.
Now the story was a cover up, honestly. It said that St. Nick was so good
Mhm.
that God had no place to put in him any evil.
Okay.
But man is born with original sin,
Mhm.
according to Christian belief.
Mhm.
So he put it in his shadow.
Okay.
And from his shadow raised up Krampus.
Okay.
Now, if you go into Norway or Sweden or
Germany.
Germany, they're going to laugh at you because Krampus has been around for centuries. And there are several different types of Krampus. They joke and call them Krampi. But I don't
There's
want
ointment for that, John, just in case you were wondering.
I don't want to butcher the word for it. I think it's called Perchinen or
Okay.
Perchinen.
Okay.
It's an old word, and they are actually demonic angels.
Okay.
They are sent to earth to drive out the evil spirits and send them back to the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Notice they said underworld and not hell. So the white demons that you see in these parades when they have the Krampus parades, the white ones are the good guys. The other ones are the bad guys. They are supposed to represent evil in the world, darkness in the world, again, bringing back the light.
Mm-hmm.
And the white ones are driving them. That's where they get, now you're talking old traditions. The switches that they carry,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's how they would drive their horses and their animals.
Mm-hmm.
So the switches and the bells, the bell has a specific reason. Bells drive away dark spirits. The louder the bell, the farther it will run. They don't, that's why churches have
Very
Bells.
large bells. Very large bells. Loud bells on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
Yes. So here are some of the origins of these things. And if you look at some of the origins, if you guys knew the origin of Ring Around the Rosie, a lot of you would be, why am I saying this to my child? Because it's about the plague. Or Rockabye Baby. And the reason I'm saying that is because it has to do with this time of year. The bards, now known as bards, people who went from town to town and brought news, would make sing-songs so they would remember information. Rockabye Baby on the treetop. If a woman had a baby during the month of December, the Catholic Church looked down on it and would not baptize the child until they did this. Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, you would swaddle your child, put them in a cradle, and put them on the highest bough of the tree at night. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. If the child survived the night, what are the chances? The child could be baptized, and therefore was not an evil spirit, not the dark soul coming to the earth, not Satan's child, because it was born in the month of December.
And this was not the pagan way.
No.
So this was from who?
This
you
is
say?
a Christian
belief.
This was an old Christian medieval belief because they felt that any child born in December was the Antichrist.
Gotcha.
So women would abstain.
Gotcha.
They
So it
would
didn't
try to
fall-
abstain so they would not bring a child into this world during the month of December.
Right.
But
No
things
sex
happen.
before March.
Right. So, they would try to cycle their births with like May, June, so that they had the summer so the child could actually grow and flourish.
Mm-hmm.
But the church got in there and they were like, nope, this kid could be the Antichrist. So they would sacrifice their child.
Right. John, keep those messages up on the screen so the ladies can see them. Because Jamie is putting some comments in there. First, she says, when we talked about the bells,
Yeah.
she puts in there bells made of iron, also tied to the old Fey legends.
Yes. Fairy
Yes.
beliefs. Yes.
Right, okay.
Fairies and iron do not go well.
Yes.
Catholics are dark.
Um,
Beliefs have some darkness to them. You mentioned darkness before, but maybe that's just her belief about Catholics having some
I'm
dark.
not saying that Christianity is dark. It does have a dark history.
I think that's
It
kind of
does
what she
have a
means by
dark
it. Yeah.
history.
Okay. Interesting. So it's kind of fun because I've known Jamie a long time and hearing her input along with your story and sharing the information. For me, I'm sitting in the middle there. I'm like, holy crap. So she clarifies, she means the stories like you were just talking
Now, and people go, oh, well, pagans did this and that, and the pagans killed Christians. All right,
I'm so fascinated by all of this.
let me clarify that. It wasn't pagans who did it. It was Nero. Nero put Christians into the arenas because he was the one who burned Rome, and he blamed it on the Christians. He was using them as scapegoats. Being a Jew, you understand that, because they were Jews,
Right.
not Christians. They believed in the Christ, but they were Jewish. So they took the Jewish people and anybody who backed them, and that includes Romans who were protecting them.
And look at the time period.
And look at the time period, and they sacrificed them in an arena in a just look at Spanish Inquisition and Torquemada. 90% of the people he killed were either old women they claimed were witches or Jews. Why? Because the church could take over their lands, their property, their monies. Boom. Hello. We talk about dark history. These are all dark history, but it is history.
And don't forget the Crusades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother show.
Join us next week.
Join us next year.
Next year, right?
Midwives. You mentioned midwives.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, they were targeted after at some point as well.
Right. 'Cause
Yes.
They were delivering.
Then it was the men doing that job
Gotcha.
because the women were witches.
Gotcha. All right, before we go to our break, I want to just share a couple of the other things that are going on here in town. I'm almost afraid to share them after all of this information, but how about we go to this? First of all, when we come back, I want you to talk about your January event.
Yes.
John, do you have that flyer for that I sent you, I hope?
No.
John, it was in the promo that I tagged you in, John. Gosh,
Oh, John.
Got to do this all by yourself. sometime.
You'll find
Anyway,
it.
later today or
I'll burn in hell for that.
actually,
We don't believe in hell, so you're
I
good.
don't either.
actually,
I told you there's a restraining order.
That's right. Some cities, if you go to the other side of the track. But anyway, here's some events going on right now. Going on as we speak right now, Downtown Christmas Expo in the Plaza's third floor convention. Ethel M's Holiday Cactus Garden, which we talked about, is going on now through
Magical
the end.
Forest.
The Magical Forest Opportunity Village.
Opportunity Village.
That's our baby.
Matter of
That's
fact,
our
I got
baby.
that right there. See, it's right on my
Yep.
list. When I was in Kiwanis, we used to volunteer at that time. Man, staying at the railroad tracks was cold, but it was a lot of fun watching everybody go by.
Yep.
That's a Magical Forest at Opportunity Village. You can go online, check their times, pretty much from, December 25th, 3 o'clock to 4 a.m. Every other day of the week, you're looking at about 5:30 to 9 or 5:30 to 11, depending upon the day of the week. And then Enchant, which we talked about, was the Las Vegas ballpark. And again, Ethel M's Holiday Cactus Garden. Do not forget about that. Here's the best thing about stuff like that. There's so many great things to do that you don't have to be on the strip to enjoy them in terms of being able to do things as a family if you so choose to. I will touch on some New Year's stuff when we come back from the other side of the break. So you're watching Aaron's Hour. I feel fully cleansed in listening to the information that's here today. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.
Hello, everybody. It's me, President Trump, greatest president in the history of presidents, and I've been on a lot of shows, believe me, but the best one by far is Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. This guy is so amazing. What a great interviewer, and you can catch him every Saturday from 12 to 1. 12 to 1. It's a tremendous show. You know why? I was on it, and the ratings went through the roof. Check it out on WWDBTV. That's WWDBTV. It's huge.
How unique.
It's gorgeous.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double 8 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double 8 Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double 8 Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business. Hi, we're back. You know, the greatest skill is when you're in the middle of a conversation and your commercial break is about to end, you make a smooth transition as if nothing ever happened. Anyway, right, exactly. I had the Weird Sistas here with me talking about the holiday traditions. And I also have my dear friend Jamie back east, who also Wiccan and just listening and being in the middle of all the information is for
Jamie
me.
needs to come out here this January.
Yes, Jamie, come out.
Please explain why.
Come out, wherever you are.
It's a whole. Don't get started on another tradition, please. Talk about why. What's happening in January?
In January, we are co-hosting an event called Witch Vegas. It's at the Orleans, January 20th and 21st. And we are proud to announce Oberon Zell is going to be speaking and signing his books. And Hallie Elise is coming from Florida. She's going to be doing readings and she will be speaking. These are just some of the names that we will be having. We will have readers. We will have vendors.
Will you have an MC?
We're not sure yet. We may.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Hoping. I'll even wear my jackets and hats for that event.
But we are doing a witch contest. Best dressed witch,
Oh,
best witch hat, best witch broom.
That's
And-
my favorite.
And it's coming with prizes. There will be raffles.
Both Saturday and Sunday.
Anybody who is a VIP gets a special gift at the door and gets to come in early and gets to go to the meet and greet on Sunday morning. But we are having a witchy rave
Saturday
night. And it is in celebration of the dark feminine. So,
Ooh.
yeah.
I think
So-
John dated her. Did you date her? I'm not sure.
So just FYI, if you're looking, it's on Eventbrite. Is it
Yeah, Eventbrite.
Eventbrite?
what do they
Get
say?
your tickets and your information on
Yeah,
Eventbrite.
And
on
they
Eventbrite.
search what on Eventbrite?
Witch
Witch Vegas.
Vegas.
Okay.
And if you look at our little Witch Vegas logo, it has information, or you can go to the Witch Vegas site that's on Facebook. And we have all our information there. So
I'm chuckling in my own head because you're talking about witch. I have a whole Abbott and Costello routine going through my head
Which
about
witch is
using the
which?
word witch. Yeah, right, exactly.
how many witches does it take to put on a corset?
That's,
You saw how many witches it took to put on a corset.
that's right. Man, I thought the wall was going to come down watching them put the corset on earlier because you need the stability. So I get it.
Yes.
So you made an interesting comment though about why there's bedposts on beds.
Yes.
They had to hold them
Yep.
to get tied in.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Wait till my wife
bedposts.
finds that out later.
Bedposts were put because most beds had covers and had curtains
Right.
to keep the body heat in.
Okay.
Because
That's how it came
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Oh,
But-
okay.
Like
They
old
put-
movies, the royal bedroom. You're seeing
always have-
all the curtains
Yeah,
and stuff.
okay.
yeah, to
all
keep
right.
the body heat in
That makes
because
sense.
their rooms were so
Stone
big,
floors.
and
Right.
we spoke about the servants getting
Yes.
up at 2 a.m, making the fires.
Right.
You have to realize the servants had it tough. They were running around the house
Sure.
at 2 a.m. If it's snowing outside, they're making all the fires. They had to
Right.
cut the wood. They had to do all that.
They didn't exactly have a power company back then.
No, they didn't.
Manual power is what they
Manual
had.
power is what they had. So, but that gives you an idea. But the curtains were also to keep the heat, the
warmth that
body
was in
heat,
there.
heat in. So, and then they started making them heavy posts so women can hang on to them. So
And
they
get tied in their corsets.
When they did La Toilette, the servants could put them in the corsets, and corsets have changed. Originally, they were whaleboned. So
Very fragile, very sharp.
Yeah,
Wow.
whale bones to keep the body shape, and it would depend on the era as to what the
Sure.
corsets looked like. It was Empress Josephine who said that corsets were an abomination, and Napoleon abolished them.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why there's a dress called the Josephine, because she designed it, and she designed it with a undergarment that is a soft corset,
Okay.
so that
So that the
the
structure like
structure stayed up.
Now you mentioned something earlier when we were kind of laughing about it, but you said corset. There's men corsets as well.
Yes, originally there were men's corsets.
Okay. Of corset.
The
See what I did
French
there?
the
Sorry.
French created
Sorry.
He's so cute.
the French created corsets.
Right.
They created it for men originally, so that men had svelte figures and looked really good in their garments.
Right.
And then they started getting elaborate, and then all of a sudden it took a shift in costuming, clothing, and men stopped wearing corsets, but they wore other things like I forget what
Like girdle, like
a girdle-like belt.
Okay.
So these were the different dress attire
Sure.
at the
Like
time.
a cummerbund.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, kind of like
Oh,
a cummerbund.
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
where that
like a
came from.
cummerbund.
Okay.
But it was also accoutrements to keep the other clothing intact.
Right.
Because belts were worn on the outside, and
Right.
they were for your pouch and so on.
Okay.
And when men started carrying pockets, they didn't need those anymore.
Okay.
So these things that we said, things change, traditions change.
Right.
But it's been an upsurgence.
Sure.
There is a men's corset company that came out, and the men's corsets are absolutely stunning.
I wonder if they have a 48 long. So
Yes, and there's different styles, and they're beautiful.
John and I chuckled when you were getting tied into court about sneezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jamie
You
puts in
can't.
there, she says, risk your life to sneeze. That's what she wrote in there.
Well,
Jamie, do you do the corset thing? Because I've never, well, not that I would know, but I'm just curious.
Generally, corsets in our costuming is on the outside.
yes.
Jamie
I'm
doesn't
not
like
wearing
my-
two of them.
No,
One's good enough.
no, but you talked about beforehand.
Yeah.
When you get dressed, how many
Originally,
different
how it was.
layers
Yes.
how you normally prepare for. I mean, what is it, about 6 layers of clothes?
Like early,
Depends. It
early
depends.
1800s.
It depends on the era.
Well, I
it
guess
really
that's true.
depends on the era. And
Okay,
it also
remember all
depended
those
on-
fabrics were heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wool. Everything was
Wool,
heavy.
brocade, and silk would be on the outside, but there would be 12 layers underneath
Right,
it.
exactly.
The worst were the French, because the things they came up with, and they stopped wearing the bustles because of opera.
Okay.
Because a woman wearing a bustle took up 2 seats. So they came up with opera gowns, and they
That was streamlined.
that were streamlined and long and elaborate, but they could pull up the train. Ladies, that's where the wedding gown came from.
Wow. I was thinking about when as soon as you mentioned train, I'm like,
Yeah, that's
wait a
where the
minute.
wedding gown came from, with the holding up of your train, or a train that can detach.
Right.
So
Now they have that as fashionable in the wedding gown industry
Yes.
now,
Yes.
especially for dancing
yes,
afterwards and all that
right.
stuff.
You can keep the train, and you can actually turn the train into another garment, which a lot of women do.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
does the train go to Clarksville
Oh God.
If you're waiting at the station.
if you're waiting at the station? Listen,
He's
normally
loving monkeys.
normally you'd have to pay for jokes like that. I'm paying for it because of the booze I get later.
Yeah, pay you not to say it.
Well, I can make money then. That's for sure. All right. Before we move on, I do want to ask about New Year's in a second, but I want to share some things going on for New Year's. Of course, one of the traditions here in Vegas is fireworks. Like,
Yeah.
the ball drops in New York and everybody at the fireworks and all that stuff. Well, as tradition would have it, there are, let's see how many this year, about almost 10 casinos that fire off their fireworks off the top. Always hoping windy conditions don't kick up to cancel and cause potential damage. But the Aria Resort and Casino, Caesar's Palace, MGM, Planet Hollywood, Resorts World, the newest one here in town, of course, the Strat Hotel, Treasure Island, and the Venetian. Those are the current hotels that are scheduled to
Yes.
fire off fireworks.
I'd like to say
Please.
something really quick on the
Yep.
fireworks. I'm a pet owner. There is a lot of pet owners.
Yes.
4th
And
of
veterans.
July. And
And,
veterans.
and veterans.
And
from-
veterans.
Yeah, I
Yes.
married a crayon eating Marine. We're good.
Oh my God. John, she knew you?
Yeah.
Some people forget until it's like last minute. You can get this in any natural shop. It's called Rescue Remedy. It is a natural Bach flower, humans and pets. If your pet really doesn't handle those loud noises, get a hold of your vet at least 2 weeks early and test out the medication they want to help calm your pet down, because everybody's blowing them off.
Yeah.
And they hear it so much louder than we do.
And
So please take care of your pets.
And they don't
during the
understand
holidays.
what's going on.
right. You just hear the loud sound.
Right.
Yeah.
And if somebody has PTSD,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
all
not
of
just-
our veterans.
it's not just veterans. There are some people that have PTSD from other things, accidents and so on, and loud noises make them panic. And
My God, I'm telling you, you talked about doing my reading last time.
Mhm.
About 11 weeks ago at the school I work out, there was a hard lockdown because right across the street there was a shooting.
Yes.
And I'm the only one on my school campus that saw it happen. Everybody else was in their rooms and everything. And I was in shock because I'd never gone through a hard lockdown before. And 2 days later, my wife and I went out to dinner with some folks, and we went to an outdoor ice cream parlor so you could sit outside. Truck drives up into the drive-through, has a backfire. Like from where I'm standing to where you are would be
Yeah.
the truck. My wife looked at me and she saw I immediately turned as white as this piece of paper. I stood still. And my wife looked, it's okay. It was just a bad one. Everybody had a good laugh at that
Yeah.
point.
But you don't know how you're going to react to it until that
Yeah.
happens.
And quite frankly, I mean, we don't go to the strip. I did the strip for New Year's once when I first moved out here, and I did it one time, and that was it. So I'm going to be farther away, but hearing fireworks and stuff this go around after the incident that I witnessed, be interesting to see how I even respond to it, because I love the M80s and the fireworks and all that, but now going through that, I'm like,
Okay. Like Whole Foods or whatever, it's called Bach flower. You
Okay.
can get it in drops.
okay.
Humans and animals can take it.
BACH, that's how it's spelled.
Bach.
Bach, like the
Yes.
Yeah.
composer.
And it's
Yes.
yellow packaging.
Okay.
Just put a couple drops under your tongue,
Okay.
and that's a natural calmer.
Okay.
I'm okay with my cats using that. My
Gotcha.
dog is 60 pounds. She's German Shepherd, Australian Shepherd, just a little bit of wolf. I have to use the vet
Gotcha.
to knock her down.
Gotcha.
Yeah. She panics.
Okay.
Okay,
She
this
panics.
big dog is trying to get in a space this big
To hide.
Yeah.
to hide
To hide.
underneath
Yeah.
my dresser.
We have about 2 minutes left at max, so I want to wrap up with this. One of the things I love that the city does for New Year's is they relieve drivers of the responsibility of having to worry about driving. if
That
they're
is
out partying.
wonderful. All for that.
So here's two things. We've partnered, we as in the city, with Zero Fatalities and other local partners to offer a discounted ride from Lyft. Use code NYES New Year's Eve Safe Ride. So NYE Safe Ride 22 to receive $5 off your ride. Discount valid from 6 p.m. Thursday the 30th through 6 a.m. Monday the 2nd. So they've covered it all weekend. And then, of course, the regional transportation system has done this for forever, where they offer rides, offering free rides on all fixed routes from 6 p.m. New Year's Eve to 9 a.m. New Year's Day. So even if you're going to go in and around the strip, the RTC is there to support. So there's no reason anybody who drinks has to get behind the wheel
Yeah.
to go home. So I love that about the
Don't
city.
drink.
And
Don't drink and drive.
don't drink and drive. That's why personally, I don't usually go out, although my dear friend Rafi has to grab a plane to go visit his family in Texas, his kids, and he has a flight out on January 1st.
You got to get me in my living room because that's where I'm starting. That's where I'm ending.
I normally I wouldn't go to
Do the hall crawl, and I'm there. Yeah.
All right. Anything real quickly with New Year celebrations that ties into any origin stories, or is just
Well,
we just chose a reason to celebrate?
our New Year's passed.
So did mine.
Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah. Right.
Our New Year's
So this
passed.
is just another reason for people to get together and watch fireworks, drinking.
Well, I think,
Celebrating life and each other is always a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but I
Absolutely.
think also that once they established a traditional calendar and everything, they just made an excuse.
Sure.
It's
As good as any. Hey,
another
just a
day.
quick programming note, just a reminder, Aaron's Hour, Thoughts Can Anywhere, will be dark the next 2 weeks, although Kiwanis Connects will be on the air each of the next 2 Fridays as well, continued programming.
Bring in the light.
Bringing in the light. Next, this upcoming Thursday, the Roundtable will be the last show for 2023 before we take the following Thursday off between the holidays. Bottom line is, the light will be brought in full in 2024, and all shows are back on the air. Ladies, thank you as always. It's been great to chat with you.
Yes.
I've actually learned an awful lot today hearing about some of the origins. I would love to do something continue to do something on a regular basis with holidays information.
Candle Mass is coming. That's February 2nd.
What is that? What is that?
Candle
pertain-
Mass.
Is what? Real
That's,
quickly.
Too late.
All right. So you know what?
Too
We call
late.
that a cliffhanger. We'll come back in February about
it's
that
like,
one.
how am I going to describe this?
Well, see,
Wait, and we'll tell you later.
there
We'll
you
tell you
go.
later.
That's what we call a tease. We'll have him back
Okay.
for that. All right, ladies, again, thank you very much.
Thank
for your
you.
time. Appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you at least in January for the event. Maybe if things work out, I may
Yes.
come anyway, regardless. All right, Jamie.
Please come down to Vegas.
Yes.
Come on, you'll have a good time.
It's witchvegas@gmail.com, or you can look us up on Facebook,
Eventbrite.
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 Okay.
Check it out.
Rich Vegas.
And if you forget all of that, rewatch the show or just message me on my Facebook, and we'll get the information back to you.
And
Anyway,
it's WITCH.
yes, not which, but which. Anyway, everybody out there, have a great holiday. Whatever traditions you follow,
Yes.
make them yours and enjoy family around.
Blessed Yule.
Blessed Yule.
As always, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next year
Happy New Year.
on Aaron's Hour. Thank you for watching.